Welcome to another show of Don't Get This Twisted. I am Rob, along with my co-host as always, Tina. How you doing, Tina?
I'm good, Rob. I was out on the bike all day and I'm cold and I'm tired and it's a good day to do this. I'm here and
I mean, you're here in voice. I can't see you today. I don't know. There's something wrong with your camera.
No, it's so weird. I don't know what the heck. You give me new cables to put into my
your stuff.
my little setup here, and now all of a sudden you can't see me. I can't say I'm sorry. I look like hell though, because I was on the bike all day and in the sun and in all the elements. We had them all today, so I'm kind of looking worn.
Yeah, I think I think we have it down of what it is, though. We'll have to test the theory later on, but I think it's an update. You need an update.
Yeah, let's hope so.
I think so.
I'm not Miss Tech Savvy over here.
No. I know. I have to get into your computer off, away from here so I can fix your shit.
Yep.
It's always fun. I feel like tech support.
You are.
So we had we've had some shows from like a long time ago that we just kind of sat on and we overdid and then did something else and then thought about this one and then this one. I think this one is going to be an interesting one because we're probably going to disagree a little bit, but probably only a little bit. It was, are we hard to love, men and women? Like basically,
is it hard for women to love men, or is it hard for men to love women, sort of thing?
Yeah, or like who's harder to love? Like, I think there's a lot to be said to that. And I'll just give you like my side of it first, I guess, because I think men are just easier to love. Like,
you think so?
Yeah, because, well, okay, I think we're easier to love from the standpoint is that I just think men are simple. We're just way simpler creatures.
I would say in a way that's true. My ex used to say that men are linear thinkers, like they think in a straight line, where women, like you have them talk about something and they twist and turn and go in circles and they get off the beaten path and then they go back to it. And then somehow there's an emotional surge. Like he made fun of it one day. It was hilarious, but he was right. Women don't think linear, and I think they really kind of bug the shit out of some men with the way they act.
Yeah. Here's the thing. It's not that I just think that we are so simple, or we are more logical, where women are more emotional. So you guys think with your emotions and we think with logic.
That right there is a problem, Rob.
And I don't mean like that women can't be logical. I just think men in general are logical. I'll give you a very easy example, and we've talked about it on here a bazillion times. If a woman asks a man, "Are you okay?" and he says, "I am," guess what? He is. If a man asks a woman if she's okay and she says, "I'm fine," the way men think logically, he's going to go, all right, he's going to walk away. You're fine. You said it. You said you're fine to me. Just like I said I was fine to you. I meant it. Where a woman may not do that. You see what I mean?
I don't know. I was asked today, how are you doing? And I did say, I'm doing good. Are you sure you're doing good? You need to talk about anything? I'm like, no, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm getting a grip on, things since I had my accident. Like I had my accident and my brain has not worked the same, and I'm really struggling. And it's caused some depression. It's caused a lot of anxiety because it's not me to be like this, and not being able to turn to people that I normally go to for help because of what they're going through has been really difficult. And I think that my one friend has seen me just not be okay. And, but I said today, no, I'm doing really good. And then are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, today I'm doing all right. Don't ask me for tomorrow. Don't ask me for next week. But today I'm doing really good. And all right, like, let's go then, And I was fine. I was fine all
Right.
day.
Which look, I'm not saying, I'm saying that some women or women are known for saying they're fine and not being fine, and then wanting a man to prod more instead of just going, I'm not okay.
Right.
So and again, I'm not saying all women, I'm not saying most. I'm just saying that it definitely happens. And I think that, again, we're just so different. I think men, it doesn't take a lot to make most men happy.
Mm.
And again, I could be wrong. But from what all my male friends have said, and I hate to be um so um silly sounding, but we really want like food, sex, um and to chill out. We want peace. And I know that that's such a hard thing to throw around, because that's like the new
Yeah,
like red pilly thing.
I think guys say that a lot. I want peace. And yet I find that they want to bug me. It's like, oh, if you want peace, go have your peace. But don't come to me if you say you want your peace, but you really don't. I have a hard time with that.
I think men want peace with their woman. I don't think they want peace alone. That's silly. That's why, look, men love women. Yes. Do you drive us bonkers? Absolutely. But here's the thing. We still want you. It's just we want to come home to, and again, peace, whatever that peace is. We want to come home to someone who wants us there,
Right.
who actually isn't going to, I don't want to walk in the door and get fucking hammered with a million things right when I get home. I want peace. I just want to chill. I want to come home. I want to hug and kiss my girl. I want to take a hot shower. Her with me if, all is the best, if you have a shower big enough. And then I want to eat dinner with her, and I want to sit on the couch, and then I want to talk. I love talking. I I love talking with my girl. It's one of my favorite things to do. But I also don't want to get like, I don't want to hear like, I don't want to walk in the door and just feel like it's blah 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 blah, and like you're just like, okay, like slow down, like hold on a second. And like I said, I'm okay. I said in the last show, I think that most of your day should be talked about within the first 20 minutes of coming home. So if you have that kind of relationship, more power to you. Let's do that. Let's get this all out of the way so we can enjoy our day. Because I don't want to hear about how, Lucy at work, shit on you all day long. I don't want to hear that at 10 o'clock at night. I want to hear it right when I get home. And then I can go to you and go, do you want me to fix it or listen? That's it. That's why I say men are mostly easy. And if I want to talk, I'm going to say, hey, what do you think? Or this is what happened. My day sucked. Let's try to make it better.
I don't normally come home with a lot of problems from work. I was thinking about that just now. I'm like, I'm being a hairdresser. There's not problems. I mean,
Yeah, because I think you're an independent contractor.
yeah, I just go do my thing, and truly, I don't like to spend a lot of time complaining. The more time you spend complaining, the more time you have where you're not happy.
Hmm.
And when your spouse or whoever you're with comes home and they're not happy, like, oh, now I got two of us that aren't happy. That just doesn't it's not the way I want to be. And I've noticed that I don't have a lot of stress. So I when I walk out that shop, I'm like, oh, see you later. Now, if you want to ask me, hey, so you saw your cousin so and so, how did that go? Well, I could reference back to my appointment and say, yeah, I heard from him. We did this or whatever. And
Hmm.
that be that. I'm very fortunate that I don't have a lot of stress that goes home with me.
Yeah. And look, I want to be the person that listens and takes on some of that stress. If you talking to me about how your boss is a bitch helps you, that helps me, right?
Yeah.
I want her to be happy. I just want to make sure that it's not everything.
Every day.
It just can't. There's no way that you can sustain a healthy relationship doing that.
Right.
You know, so that's what I mean by like, and again, I'm not saying that women are hard to love. You know, I just
I think we make it hard for men to love us for
you
sure because
can.
men don't want to put in. I'm also seeing this lately. Men don't want to put in a lot of effort. Or like effort equates with drama, which gets equated to like somebody that can't be around. And then I'm seeing that
Yes.
even if you're not drama enough, men don't trust that either. And I thought that was kind of funny.
Oh. Um. Uh, okay. I'm good with not being a lot of drama. I
Yeah,
don't. I try not to be a lot of drama to my mate. I don't
right.
want to
You
be drama
shouldn't be.
either.
There isn't. But yeah, could you imagine? I got to. Well, it doesn't seem like you're passionate about anything. I'm not passionate about anything really. Like you got the wrong person because there's. I think I live a life where I've got passion for things and doing stuff and trying new things. And I thought that was so funny. Like, I don't know. I guess I needed to be much more of a pain in the ass for that one.
I also think I guess it matters like who you're with, right? If you're with somebody who is like super duper passionate about stuff, you should probably find a mate who has some kind of that, but
Right.
it can't be like 24/7. I just think you find it to be where and again, like we've talked about opposites attracting. Like, right? Can two
Yep.
different people and I think that you can absolutely do that. You
I
don't
couldn't have
have
picked more of an opposite person to marry than the one that I did.
right. Right, right, right.
Yeah.
That is kind of true.
No, it's
And
really true. He'll
I mean,
admit it too.
I guess really with me, you could probably say the same thing where, although we did have things in common, I would still say um that there were some things that probably didn't help. At the time she partied and I didn't. Like there were certain things that you know, but I don't think that they were things that were going to hurt our relationship long run.
Right.
It was things because I mean, like we lasted 10 years. So obviously like there was some kind of connection there. Um I just think it's one of those things where and again, I'm going to defend the man point because obviously um we're just simple. So if you do your best to make things simple, I guarantee you in most cases, you'll have a great relationship with them. Because men are
Right.
fixers, right? We want to fix things or do things. Um, I have no I love doing certain things, like love working on the house. You want to put up, you want to put, build something, I'm all in. If you want to put up the Christmas lights, I'm all in. If you know what I mean? Like, but you also have to be a driving force behind that. I don't think there's anything wrong with like, hey, I want to do this today. Cool. That's bitching. Um, but I also think men are generally not spur of the moment type people. We like things to have. You don't want to come home from work and then right when you get home, your mate goes, "Oh, we're leaving," and gave you no heads up about it. That's that's why I'm saying that like we're like, "Oh, okay. I wish you would have told me about this." Because like maybe I didn't have the greatest day, and some people don't want to put on a face to go out. You know what I mean? I don't want to put on a mask and be like, "Hey, haha, so glad I'm here." Because that's just not reality. I'd rather, and if I did it to my mate, I'd rather have her go, "No, I don't feel like going out." Cool. All right. Because I would go, okay, I guess I'm not going out. I'm okay with that. But you both have to be on the same page, I guess,
I
with
think
some. Mhm.
I think it's kind of nice when I could say, "Do you want to come?" And they'll say yes or no. And then they come to what they want to come to and they don't come to what they don't want to. And I do my thing and they do their thing. Like it's to me, it's like how emerged in my day to day do you really want to be? Because this
That's
is what I
true.
do and come with me or not. Like it's okay.
But for how long? Do you see what I mean?
Well,
Like, how long is that going to be okay?
it should always be okay because somebody should always be making an effort to bridge the gap. Like, if there's something that they don't want to do, I should probably do that while they're working so that they don't have to deal with it once their time starts. Or maybe I don't go sometimes, or,
Right. That's what
maybe
I'm
I
trying to say
just
is it.
be okay that he's going to sit on the couch and play video games. I mean, you have to compromise.
Mhm,
But I normally the way I do it is just, do you want to come or not? I mean, the choice is always yours, and
mhm.
the more effort that a person makes for me, the more effort I make, and I go to the depths where I'll even go and be uncomfortable to make somebody else happy. So
Right. I mean, so I'm unfortunately the same way. I
yeah,
just don't it just makes for sometimes not a great time
right. Well,
because
I
some
always
people can get poppy and be like, say shit that shouldn't be said because you don't want to be
oh
there.
no, no, no. You know what I really have learned to understand is you always want to put your mate in the best light. Like just put them in the best light so they could walk into any situation in your world and be okay in it. And that's just fair. Like you don't want to set them up for humiliation. I hate when I see people do that.
Mhm.
Have I done that in the past? Absolutely. Did I
Yeah,
learn from
me
it?
too.
Absolutely. Did I stop doing it and try to be better? Absolutely. You
Mhm.
just have to.
Right.
But I don't I feel like if you want your mate around in any way, shape, or form, you cannot stomp on him because the second you do, he's walking into a situation where he's not going to be treated well or he's going to be judged and not know it. That you can't set up your mate that way.
Mhm. Absolutely. And like I said, I mean, I think also length of relationship matter in the things we're talking about. You know what I mean? If it's something that you've been in for 10 years, I think that there's you guys should know each other pretty well. you know, Actually 3 years in you should know each other pretty well. If you've lived
Yes.
together and you've done things together, you should pretty much know what your mate is going to say. Now, I think there's always negotiation, right? It, it's like if family's in town, you should never say no to family, to me. And that's just my own opinion. If, if my mate's mom came to town, and even if I was tired to all hell, I would go because that's their family. You
Right.
know what I mean? So
But
there's
now
also
here's the flip side. It's my family.
it
And there's
is, but you're
always
my mate.
something going on. No, no, I mean in the sense of there's always something happening.
No,
There's
that
always something that they should show up for. That gets a little overwhelming. And I always felt like I needed to say, hey, this isn't a big deal if you don't come to this.
right.
But the next one will be, you know?
Right. That's kind of what I'm trying to say though, is like if it's like let's say your mate is from out of town, right? If their parents don't live in the same place. Yes,
Yeah, you
I
gotta
think
make
if you're in a family that does things like, you know, once a week, that could get a little much. It just
welcome
can.
to my world.
Right. So what I'm saying is if you're if you happen to be, you know, your mate's parents live out of town or something, you should always make a um effort to, you know, see them. So
Yeah,
like because I look at like my parents, they're, they're from out of town. So it would definitely be I couldn't say no. Like if they're in town, I'm gonna go see them. So
absolutely.
now if it's like friends that live in town, it's like, okay. It's like you can only do that for so long until someone goes, "Are we always going to do this?" Like, I want to have time with you. I want to spend time with you. Now, and again, these are all things that that should be talked about.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's it's a it's an effort. The all these things we're talking about, I think, take effort. So, and just like just like women, men can be testy and can have, can be dicks just because they want to be a dick,
Yeah,
and I think that you actually also have to be able to call your mate out. You guys need to get to a relationship status where, you can go to your mate and kind of go, "Hey, you're being kind of shitty,"
yeah,
you know. And you just got to make sure you don't use those crazy words. You can't use like you're being a bitch because then that's a whole other, you know, then you open up a whole nother can of worms.
yeah.
I, but
That's not the worst thing you could be called, though, to be honest with you. Like when I hear that, I'm like, oh, here we go again. Somebody thinks I'm a bitch.
oh, I mean, I don't know. American females, they hear the C word and they lose their mind.
Huh.
Where I watch too much British TV, I say that because it's like, it's like friends call each other that word. So it's my thing out of all this is like I'm saying, I don't think all women are hard to love because I that's not necessarily true. Some women are incredibly easy. But I've had friends who are female who have told me in the past that their the way they talk and the way they do things is way more like a dude. Like and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of an interesting way of looking at it." Where they're like very blunt, they say crazy shit. Um just very manly. And I don't mean manly as in, want to throw
Masculine.
yeah, just they just do things like a man would do. Like very feminine women, but just certain things were like, yeah, this is what I do. And it's kind of like that's kind of a guy thing. And I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe that could be true where it's not necessarily a masculine trait. It's just they can be dicks. That's what she said. She would even say that. She goes, I can be a dick. And I was like, oh, okay, well. So uh, my whole thing is that, so that's how I feel about men. But men, we're just easy. So do you find that women would be easy to love or hard to love?
I don't think when you put love in a sentence, anything is easy. You know, like
That's
love is
true, but
kind of a really fucking
but
hard thing. And it
yes.
seems like now, this
Mhm.
time in my life is different than time before because I don't remember people not getting along as much as, or as they don't get along as well as they used to. So we're already at a divide, and I think we're like stuck in this whole I can't allow this because then somebody will get one up on me. Like you can't even, people race from one red light to the next, you know,
Correct.
and they're always trying to get one up on somebody they don't even know. And so it's the same in relationships and dating these days. It's like hurt hurt them before they hurt me sort of mentality.
Right.
And I see that a lot. And I'm not like that. I could care less. Like if we're not working, let's go our separate ways. That's how I think it should be done. Not let's stay in a situation where we're really not happy and then kind of make each other miserable. I don't I don't want to do that. I don't want to be in that. Um but I think women make things difficult because they think about a lot of different things in a lot of different ways all at once. Where men are like, I thought we were talking about this and now we're talking about that and now I'm just fucking confused and don't want to play. So it's kind
Ah,
of hard to be in a situation where you communicate effectively. And I think that that's more the key. Like I have a friend who thinks that he's he's too he's a pain in the ass, to be honest with you, from time to time. And like
mhm.
he wants to like fuck with me and say things and think he's gonna get a response. My response has been, oh, whatever, or like I'll ignore the situation and he'll say, are you gonna answer me? And I was like, I have no intention on getting in that conversation. Like I literally just shut it down.
Mhm.
And then sometimes like he'll say, oh, you must be mad because you didn't say anything. And I'm like, I don't even know what to say, or what is it worth for me to say something is another side to it. Like I really don't, I have a hard time doing that. Like if we can't be upfront and we can't be kind and we can't be good to each other, like I shut down. And I know that a lot of men want somebody that they could bicker and do that sort of thing with, but I could do it to an extent, but I'm more of one of those literal people that'd be like, "What did you just say? Quit being a fucking dumbass. Like just stop, you know?"
Right.
But I think that because I was raised more by men, that I kind of figured that out. I think I'm more the exception, not the rule. I don't know. But I
I think
find it very
mhm.
difficult with men because women have just shit on them and made it hard.
Well, I think, look, I think it's both sides, right? I think a lot of men have
Shit on
really
women too, for sure.
and ruined them, like
Yeah.
really kind of just sent them to a whole other, you know, plane of trauma, right? Where I, I think both sides now are at points where they just don't trust the process anymore, right? Where
Mhm.
eh,
And if you're not drama right off the back, they're like, "Wait, what's going on? Like,
well, that's the
I'm
other
not
thing.
used to this."
Yeah, well, that's kind of the thing. You're right. Like,
You're
where do
gonna be
you
hardcore.
where do you where do you set the line at, right?
Yeah.
Of issues. Look, we like I've said before, and I'll say it 100 times, like we're all broken, right? There's no way that we don't come with some kind of baggage.
Right.
Now, do some people come with Paris Hilton baggage? Absolutely. Where it's just fucking, you
That's
know,
a shit show.
yeah, and it's just like tons of issues.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think that's both sides. I think both people can come with that. Um I think the other is, are you willing to unpack the baggage with them? Right? Um but how do you get to that? How do you get there, right? That's the thing. A
Well,
lot of people aren't willing to even get past that.
I think the problem is people are trying to put the cart before the horse. Like in dating now, it's like, no, we need to have sex before we do anything. No, we really don't. Like, if I don't know your last name, chances are I'm not going to get naked with you.
Yeah.
If you haven't like told me who you are, yeah, that's not going to happen again. Like, I always say that women need some sort of something in order to want to sleep with a guy, where a guy just needs a warm body and some boobs. I really don't think he needs much more than that. Or
Yeah.
maybe an ass if he's not a boob guy. They're normally one or the other. But
True.
to me, it's like I can't do that. If you want me to like you, don't even force yourself on me like that. Wait
Mhm.
till I, I kind of let you know that I'm ready for that, and then it's on. And then tell me, and it's not because I'm frigid, and it's not because I don't want to have sex. It has nothing to do with that. It's like, let me get to know you,
Mhm.
please. Let me. Like,
I,
that's key.
I think me and I will go with some other men that I know, because I have talked to about things like this. I would tell you that I think that if you can wait a little while before you have sex with somebody, it makes that part so much better.
For sure.
I mean,
Because a woman needs to feel things in order for her to give you what you need.
but I kind of agree with what you were saying. I think you need to understand the human you're in bed with.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I mean? Look, if you know some of the issues or trauma or, you know, um, past experiences that come with that person, I believe you can tiptoe into having sex with them and not mess with their head, not, because like, look, sex is also mental,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
for everybody. As much as, people like to say for men, it's just a wet hole. I, I actually disagree coming from the man side.
Well, that's good to know that you're not thinking that horrible about women.
Well, because it's, well, for one, I'm old, right? So I think I've lived with, with, you know, several mates. So
Right?
you learn about human beings, and you learn that, sometimes the payoff is better. You're also going to have a better lasting relationship if you build it around something other than sex.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think you're definitely going to end up in a relationship that means something.
Yeah.
If it's 24 hours sex, good luck. It's never going to work because somebody is not going to want to be involved in that right then. They're
Well,
just
and
not.
then, life gets involved where you just have so many things you can't give it a whole 12 hours. Like, you're lucky if you get 1 hour.
Mhm. It's true.
It's just life.
So if you build that relationship on togetherness, um that sexual tension generally builds.
Yes.
So you're going to end up with someone who can't wait to be around you and be with you to the
Yes.
point where you're finding ways to do it.
Absolutely.
You
And
know?
should. I mean,
Right. But I mean, when you're like you just said, when you're having life in front of you,
yeah.
where it becomes difficult, where you're now both like, hey, and it means something. You're not, it's like I talked about on the last episode, like when you have, and I hate to say crazy sex because I don't think that's what it is, but you're having sex, outside or in front of the window or in the kitchen, whatever your said, you know, unconventional sex is.
Less vanilla.
Yeah. I mean, sure. I mean, we'll get to that on the sex shows once we do them, but I, I think that that's just more passionate. If you find
yes.
yourself, again, like knowing there's someone in the backyard and you don't care, that's passion.
hmm
That's just reacting to, whatever happens at the time. Where, I, and again, I hate to say that men are so one dimensional because I don't think that all we think about is sex, but
It's a
that
good
would,
amount of time.
but that would also make us easier to love because
Yeah.
if you have sex with your mate more, he's going to give you the world.
Right.
But you also have to realize that that's just not everything.
But we also need to look at the fact that not too many men really want to be in a relationship. Like if we're looking at guys of this age, let me tell you what's going on. They're divorced. They've been through the
Correct.
ringer. We live in California, so they've given up everything they've worked for.
Mm-hmm.
Um they gotta take care of kids. They gotta do everything. They gotta find a place to live. They,
Mm-hmm.
they were already paying for a place, but now they gotta pay for a new place and the old place, and bitterness is set in.
Mm-hmm.
Like truly, I see this over and over again. And then they want to date, and I'm like, you're still bitter. Like you can't be bitter anymore. You have to put that down and now be ready to date somebody else.
I, I agree. I think, look, here's what I'm going to say about just people in general. You will never, ever, 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 ever heal. Ever. There's always going to be a blip of something left behind. Now, should you get past pretty much everything? Absolutely. Um,
Life
you,
needs to go on.
life, no, life does go on because it
Yeah.
has to.
Yes.
So to when I start thinking of like that kind of thing where you are right, like you can't just fester in your own shit. You gotta
No.
you gotta realize that if you've broken up with somebody, your mate has moved on. Period. That's just it. And it's okay.
That's supposed to happen.
Yes. And you're supposed to move on. So
Absolutely.
and I asked somebody, um, I was dating someone and they were also married at one time. And obviously, I got divorced. And we were talking about like seeing your ex with their new partner.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, listen, at some point, your ex is going to see you with someone new. And
Right.
is it going to suck? Absolutely. But that's reality. And then I asked them, well, what are you going to do when you see your ex with somebody new? And they were like, I don't know. It's like, I mean, have you moved on? And they're like, well, yeah, then you'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's so if you have to think about it, you're not okay. You're not ready. Like, I got not dragged into it, but I met my ex-wife's new boyfriend at a birthday party for my own son.
Yeah. I remember that.
So you have to realize that life is going on. That's it. It's part of your life, it's part of your past, it's part of your future. That's just what it is. It and I don't mean to like crap on people who have just been broken up with, like get over it, but eh, how long how long can you fester in your own shit? If you've been broken up a month, I can understand where you're like, "Oh, this is sucky." Like, yeah, because it is sucky. It's still an open wound. If you've been broken up a year, I mean, mm, like really? It it's if your significant other has moved on already and you're looking at it like I can fix this still, you're probably wrong.
Hmm.
You know what
Not
I mean?
anytime soon.
I
But then
I mean,
they say that guys do things like differently than women. Women, they hurt right away. Men are normally relieved. And then they want to go out and get a new relationship right away. And then like things may not work out. They start to miss the other person. And that's when they come back. Where women, they'll miss you, heal through that, and then they'll be on their merry way when a man wants them back.
yeah, I mean, I I would say that if a woman generally starts a new relationship,
It's
they have
over.
they have already moved on,
Yeah.
right? If you're thinking like hard about starting a relationship, you know what I mean? Like maybe you
Yeah.
haven't yet, but you're okay with going out and you're okay with talking to people. And maybe you've given your phone number to somebody, you know, someone odd who will like has a name that's a city, like something stupid. And you're just like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna see what this is. You've moved on. And you know it, and you need to either tell your ex-mate that you've moved on and that's okay because then they'll heal and move on. Too many people, I think that's what makes us hard to love, right? That we as a species, both sides, um, you need to have some kind of critical thinking of this is done and it's okay. Mostly if they tell you,
Right.
if someone comes to me and is like, yeah, this isn't working. I, I think we should like not see each other. To me, that there is no more, oh, but I can make this work. Not anymore.
Right.
I might have thought about that years ago. And I would have continued to try. but you can't. That's just not reality. You know, if you're lamenting in this, you know, all I have to do is win him back, the odds are probably not very good. You should play the lotto.
I don't know. You know what I got to tell you that I've learned that I didn't know was a real thing is that they all come back.
Ah,
I
a
have
lot.
not I have not had one that has not other than my ex. Like my ex that I was married to, we really ran the gamut on that whole relationship and now we're really good friends. But see, we're good friends. So there is a level of coming back around or of fixing things or of moving past the hurts. And man, if I had
Right. If I had a
to
nickel.
but every time somebody came back around, I'm like, "You're fishing again. Go away." Like, I'm not into it.
Right.
But they do come back. They will come back, and at any given point, they would even have sex, married or not. Like, that's just what I'm experiencing.
Yeah. I gotta tread lightly on this one. I will tell you though that most women do not come back.
No, I would agree with that. Because I thought when it was over, you weren't supposed to go back. And I've noticed that this is what I'm learning now as as a 54-year-old woman
Mhm.
that the men do it, but women are like, "Oh, I'm so over that." But isn't it just like a man and a woman to be completely different even in that?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it amazes me that we could even get together as a man and woman at any time because of the way life is and how it's structured.
Agree. I will tell you this though. I think generally the person who thinks they ruined the relationship comes back.
Oh,
So like if a man thought, "Oh, I'm the problem. I screwed this up. I did all this stuff." And then realizes, "Oh, this woman was great."
yeah.
And then there's an opening, he might try to take that.
Yep. I would
So,
agree. I've seen that that's happened.
yeah. So, but I'll tell you the flip side of like the woman. I think even if a woman thinks she fucked it up, she won't be the one who initiates it. She'll just go, "Oh, and again, I'm playing, you know, the bell curve. Sure, are there women who come back? Absolutely.
Yeah, and they're
I mean,
dumb when they do.
yeah, I,
Like the
I mean,
stuff that they do, I'm like, why would you even bother coming back, you dumb ass? Those ones seem to come back.
yeah, I think, like I said, most people come back who think they screwed it up and now have a chance. And again, it all matters to how old they are. There's a lot of different things that, like I've talked before, where I think if you're trying to make a relationship work and you've only been out of it, 2 years, probably not a good thing to try to come back to because
Yeah.
you haven't grown, like
Nothing's changed.
right now if you're coming back and it's been 10 years and you've been both been married and you both are divorced and you're both like you've lived enough to be different people, right? And
Hmm.
I mean, shit, I saw my first love 20 years later. You know what I mean? Like, and and just different, right? We were different people. So
But
it
were
was
you though? In a
y-
lot of ways, I think, because I'm the outsider in that situation. You
I
guys
mean,
are
you were
very
there,
much the
so
same person that
yeah.
you were back then. just older, more mature,
That's what I mean,
and
though. Like,
life has taken a different, you know.
that's where I think we're different, though. Where life, you know, things that we have done, like, I'm not saying that like we're different on the inside. We're emotionally different. We've had we've lived lives, right? We've lived experiences
Right.
where now I might not do what I did, 30 years ago, right? I'm not going to let someone just walk out of my life. I'm not just going to, you know,
Well, I think that comes with age too. You didn't know back then, like,
right.
what
But
was
no,
going
but
to
but
happen.
I've done this with several different mates. Like I've
You let
done
them just go?
I've looking back on relationships that I've been in, and since her with other people, I did kind of the same thing where I I let things grow out of control to where they thought certain things. And I'm talking several different women. So it's um I look at that from the standpoint of I think I was just young and immature.
Yeah,
Where now I will be less likely to do something like that. You know, you you just change, but for the better, I think. And look, I ran into several people that I've dated, years later, and I think it's a good experience because you realize that the people have grown.
well, they're supposed to.
Right, but that's what I mean though. But I've ran into people who haven't too. Like,
Yeah,
if I'm
I
going to
know
be
some people
honest.
that are still doing the same shit the
Right.
same way.
Exactly. Like, well, I know people who've been in relationships with people and then will get out of them and go to the same kind of person.
Yeah,
So, yeah, you're replacing this person but with the exact same person. So it's, there's a lot to be said to that as well. But I, we we are definitely two different kinds of um people, men and women.
for
The
sure.
Men Are from Mars, Women Are from Venus. If you haven't read it, it's an amazing book. I read it, I
I read
think,
it so long ago, I don't even remember.
well, I read it while, like, right after my ex-wife left.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I also underlined things that I thought were about me in red pen.
Oh, yeah.
And oh yeah, it was not a good idea. Like, I remember going through that book and it was just red. I was like, oh yeah, that's me. That's me. So, and I think, like I said, we're just men are generally just simple creatures.
For
So,
sure.
but that being said, I think you can't be a simple creature and not realize that the person you're with might not be.
Yeah.
You can't use your way of thinking on them because it doesn't work.
Well, not only that, but I think that people miss out on opportunities when they don't look for differences in somebody that they want to be with. Like, it shouldn't be all about everything being the same. There's so many things. Like, I spent 22 years with my ex being completely polar opposites. And you know what you do? You find middle ground. And if you want your relationship to work, that's what you do.
Mhm.
You don't I don't know. Life would be so boring if I had married me.
Absolutely. Me too. Look, do I want some things to be like me?
For
Absolutely.
sure.
But I don't want, I want someone who fits all the things I'm not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I, I, I want, and vice versa. I want to fill some spaces that they're not like that I am. that you can't be like that. I'm going to read you a quote that I think is like super duper perfect because you said, it's work and missing an opportunity. The quote is, opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks a lot like work.
Oh, yeah.
Thomas Edison said that, which is absolutely perfect, but it's true. I think sometimes you look at your mate or a potential mate and go, man, that's a lot of fucking work. Do I really want to do that? Even though you've had really good times with these people, right? Like you've dated, you've gone places, you've had dinner, you've hung out with friends, some family's been around, like, and then you still go like, fuck, this is a lot of work. But yeah, it is work, but are you happy during the work?
Right.
And I think that's the biggest thing. That should be your measuring stick.
Mm-hmm.
Are you happy during the work? Because if you are, stop running. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I like
And
when people say, oh, well, I don't know if we're a match, but let's be friends. Let's be friends to me means this person's sticking with me until the day I die. And I know that because that's been my life. Like, oh, you want to friend zone me? And then I hear, oh, well, you know what? You're such a good person. You would have done it like this or that. I'm like, don't do that.
right,
Because now we're friends.
correct. The friend zone is a very scary place to be in. And I'll tell you why, from a man point of view. Mostly if you know they like you can't be friends with people that you want more than a friend.
Yeah.
Uh, it, that's what makes a good mate who's your friend the best. Because
Right?
yeah, I do want you as my friend. That's why I love to be around you, but I also want to be around you naked.
Yeah.
So, and once you're there, and this is just my advice to any guy, run. If they want to put you in the friend zone, the odds of you getting out are not very good.
No, you're going to be there forever.
Yeah. And you're going to get the phone call when something's wrong at the house, or the mice are in the basement, or whatever it is. And then you're going to drive down, and the part of that problem is that you like them. So you want to be around them,
Even
right?
if you're chasing mice.
Even if you're chasing mice, because that's the way we're wired. You see this person and, your oxytocin level goes up, all these chemicals in your body. You're like, oh man, maybe she'll see me different because I came and got the mouse. Because that's how our brain works. Because we're logical. We're
But
like,
if you pushed her away, why would she ever see you more than somebody that'll take care of a mouse?
right. But here's the other thing. If you push them away, some women fucking come running.
Yeah,
Which is
I don't do that.
a whole other problem with us. Like, men are very straightforward. I like you. I want to be with you. I'm telling you right now. And if a guy tells you that, there is no hidden meaning anywhere in that.
Right.
The meaning of that is, hey, I really want to be with you. I'm telling you right now, there is no nothing. And again, I'm going to sound horrible, but there are women who will lead people on, and for whatever reason. There are men as well. I don't want to just say it's women, but part of that is you have to find a way to let go. If someone says, I just want to be friends, then you have to find your way else to a different place. And that doesn't mean you can't be friends, but like I've I've said many times to you personally away from here, f- friends like that you don't talk to every day. You talk to them, you know, 3, 4 times a year. Hey, happy birthday. Hey, Merry Christmas. Hope things are good. Something happens, it's like my friend in North Carolina. There was hurricanes there. I don't talk to her really that much. Did I text her when there was a hurricane? Absolutely. And she got back to me. Hey, everything's good. Life's good. Romantic relationships good. Awesome. That was it. And that's where I put you. Once you say you want to be friends after you know that I like you, I can't be the person that you talk to every day because that's for other kinds of relationships.
Yeah. I get that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why and again, I think that's why we're easy. Women are just more of an emotional creature, which is okay. I think as a man, if you go into a relationship with somebody, you understand that that's going to come with it, right? You
I would
know,
hope so.
yeah. I mean, look, men have emotions too. We just have different kinds.
Yeah.
We have
Notice that.
we have angry emotions,
Hmm.
right? We're full of testosterone, so we get angry and we get where women don't. I think part of the problem for both of us is that everyone keeps it in and never says anything because nobody wants to hurt anyone's feelings.
I used to be like that. And now I notice that I'm like, I'm just going to say it and you're just going to have to deal with it. And excuse me, I find that I'm having like way better conversations, way better relationships, way better friendships, way better everything because I don't have an ego now.
Mhm.
Your ego keeps you from saying stuff. And I'm just like, I'm just going to put it all out there and my ego is going to sit over here and watch what happens.
Right.
And I've always been like that though. I mean, you could attest to that. I've always been like, let's just say what we're thinking. Like
Mhm.
it's okay. And I do that and I feel like I get closer to people. Maybe not the people that I want to be around or maybe the people that I shouldn't be around from time to time. That will happen, but I believe that I have better relationships because I am that open and I do check my ego. And when people are even talking shit, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'm going to take my ball and go home because I don't want to do this.
Right.
So,
I I think a lot of it has to do with obviously, like I said, baggage that comes with it. If you've been with a mate that you could never talk to, they're not going to talk.
yeah.
It's just because all of a sudden, you have to break the ice with people. th- told you before, I, and I think anyone who is in any kind of relationship, there's a card game. It's called Let's Get Deep. There's many versions of this kind of thing. They're generally couples games or um, questions to ask while you're dating, and it's
Ah,
and it's really good. It's like an icebreaker question, a deep question, a deeper question, and then an activity. The activity obviously is not for new couples
right.
because the activities are like, handsy and kissy and, you know, lovey. So, but I think that if you can be a incredibly truthful human being, um, it's one of the greatest things ever. I think anyone that you can sit, there's like 200 cards of questions, and um, they range from all kinds of different things, which I find myself, I told my son to get it for him and his girlfriend. And he's like, "Oh, we've talked so much." I go, "I understand that, but it will ask like, you know, questions that you would never think. Like like I'm looking at the Amazon thing on it, and it's like a deep question is describe your first impression of me. That is so of a well-rounded kind of question, right? Where it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to tell you my first impression. It could be like, you know, your eyes or the the shirt you were wearing you know, that I noticed. And I've done this card game, and it's interesting that the questions of how you answer are like so non-sexual, even though the question may be. And I don't know.
That would
I
be
think,
fun to do a couple questions on the show and do that sort of.
yeah, I'm telling you, it's really good. And like, you get to like deeper questions. Like one of them is, what is something you want to do together that we haven't done yet? And like, to me, that can be a lot of things. That
Yeah.
could be, I want to travel with you. I want to go to the beach with you. Like, we haven't done this. We haven't done that. It's really funny too, because I was playing it and we were going through the cards, and we just pulled out random questions. Like, and this one was an icebreaker question. And the person almost fell out of their chair when they read the question to me, because it was, if you were a wrestler, what would your theme song be?
Been there.
Right. And they knew me as a wrestler as well. So that's how this like question started. And from there, it was just like, boom, boom. But you also, like I said, you have to be willing to talk. We, part of our thing was, this is how we're going to play it. If there's a question you don't want an answer, or you don't want to answer, it goes in a pile and we're coming back to it.
Oh.
And because some of the questions, like, you want to think about, like, how do I want to answer this, or how, you know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
um, and it worked out really cool because it was, it was, you know, altering to be able to do that with somebody. And like I said, I think lots of people should really kind of open up. It'll make you easier to love, long run.
I I agree with that. I think the more that I know a person, the more I could pull feelings of like or lust or love or whatever, because I know about them. Like, just like we said in the beginning, don't think that first date sex is going to be fun. It's going to be a hot mess. We're not going to we're going to do a lot of things that we could be doing better, and just go from there.
Yeah. I, I think even waiting for a kiss can be, I mean, I don't think you want to wait fucking 8 dates. You know what I mean? But, I think you can go the first date and not do it, and be okay.
Please, like,
Yeah.
please know a person before you lay down with them like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Cause I think
get to know them.
once you wait until the next time, it builds a little bit, and then you can build on like the questions you've asked, and then you can open up to more things. And then at the end of the day, these are things that we're trying to be easier to love,
Yep.
and again, I don't think men are like easy. I just think we're simple. There's a difference. Like, you just have to understand how we work, both sides, both genders. You have to be able to look at men and women and go, okay, I understand that she might be like this. And you have to look at him and go, he might be like this, or,
Right.
whatever, once you go through these steps. But as you're changing, right, to understand that you're falling for this person and you want to be in something serious with them, that's when the understanding really becomes necessary of, yeah, it's going to be hard and it's going to be this and it's going to be that. You just have to understand that your mate is going to have bad days. They're going to have good days. There's going to be things that I don't want to say the train comes off the tracks, but it's a tad wobbly, right?
The train does come off the tracks in life, unfortunately. Like
It,
I always
it,
say, it's going to be a wild ride with me because shit gets real, real fast.
right, right. No, and my thing too is like, I told you before, and, you have to be careful what we say to each other, right?
Yeah.
Because I said something to somebody and I kind of regret saying it, even though I didn't mean it as something mean. I
Right.
just meant it as, yeah, you are. And it was more just like I told you before, it's like, you're a lot. Um, and I think now that I look back on that, probably not the best thing to say, but yeah, eh, but I
You know
didn't.
what? Why not just be honest though? Why if somebody was being a lot, just tell them you're being a lot. You're a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
You're not an easy.
I mean, and it wasn't even that they weren't easy. It's just at the time, like, you are a lot. It didn't mean that like, oh, I don't want to see what this is or I don't want to move forward. I
Yeah.
just think that, yeah, you can be a lot. But here's the flip side. Like, I've been told that I'm like, you know, a lot, that I can be very obsessive and very like when I like somebody, I'm in, and then I get
Right.
obsessive and they're like, so look, I guess we all have these traits of like, you know, things can go south very quickly.
Yep.
Um, I just think that men and women have to, at the end of the day, you have to realize that the person you're with or the person you're trying to be with has their own uh, personality, and it might not be like yours, but when you're with them it's $1,000,000 and you don't want to not be around them.
Right.
So obviously there's a lot to that. I guess I look at things from the standpoint of like, yeah, like they give me this and this feeling, and they tick, like I told you, the 80% of the boxes. Because if I can find an 80%, you're so ahead of the curve on a person that you can
Right.
be with. So, when you go out and you start dating, and you're going to, right? Because we all want something. As much as I could say that, oh, I'm done with dating, that's no way. The people I've been around, I've had so much fun that you're like, no, of course, I totally want that. Because we all want a mate. Like, people who say they don't want mates, I don't care how hurt you are. Nah.
They're pretty freaking hurt.
I mean, and it could be, but I can't, it's the 80/20 rule. There probably is 20% of people that are done.
Yep.
And cool. But I also think that there's 80% of the people that are out there that just really can't wait to be in a relationship again with somebody who fits their puzzle. We're puzzles. You just got to
Mhm.
find the right thing to get in there.
Yep. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds so easy.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying that it's out there.
It is.
And and we are both incredibly difficult to date, and we're both can be incredibly easy to date.
Are you talking about me and you?
No, men and women.
Oh,
No, I look, we like I said, I can be difficult. I'm not gonna disagree with that. I can be a bit much. I can be a bit much.
and I could be a bit much too in the fact that I'm like, yeah, let's try it. Let's go. Let's do
Yeah.
it. And
I
people are
mean,
like, wait, what? Like, I'm the flip
yeah.
side of that.
And look, we all come with baggage. I'm just looking for someone that matches mine. I got baggage. Not a lot.
Can we just put it down and go have some fun and then go back to it later?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what
and
I'm all about.
I think part of that too is if you want to talk about look, we all have different lived experiences, right? Um,
Yep.
because I had somebody that was like, I've been through a lot. And in the beginning, I was like, I've been through a lot too. And then I went, no, I really haven't.
Mm,
The hardest thing I've ever been through is divorce. That's it. So,
yeah.
I mean, I had a good childhood. I, you know, I come from a divorced family, but both my parents like were good to me afterwards. They saw each other. We hung out at holidays. Like I'm definitely not one of those like, you know, I didn't have a bad childhood. So, and then I got married, had a kid, got divorced, had my kid ever since. Now, have I had trying times during that? Absolutely. A single dad was rough.
Right.
There is that. But, hopefully that, the work I put in was worth it and my kid ends up being a good person.
There you go.
You can only do so much with that too. You can only do so much with your kids.
Yep.
But I think the best thing we can do with that is teach them that, yeah, they're hard, but they're worth it. That's it.
Agreed.
Relationships they're worth it. It's you want to put in the work, and if you don't, someone is out there that will.
Yep.
It's like, have you ever met somebody that just like mostly after a relationship or that you just went right when you meet him, you go, oh wow, like oh, I didn't see that coming. That there's nothing better than that, and you just got to find that.
I'm normally not surprised. Not like that. I'm a pretty good read.
Yeah, that's good. You're way ahead of the curve then, because
Yeah.
because
But
I've
then the flip side is like you make an assumption and then you better hope you're right because you could be missing out on a really good situation.
absolutely that's true. That is very true.
Yeah.
But look, everything's a gamble.
Yeah.
Every relationship you're ever going to get into, from 15 to death, is a gamble. That's just life.
Yeah.
And look, if you're not willing to gamble for some kind of happiness, you're never going to be happy.
I say gamble it all every time you get a chance and see
That's
what
it.
happens next.
Push all the money in one pile and go, okay, let's see.
Light it on fire.
Because at the end of the day, if it doesn't work, guess what? Life goes on.
It does. That it
So,
does.
that's about all I can say about it. Anything last words?
No, we got to get out of here because
Yes,
we're
we
at
do.
a minute 20 or an hour 20.
I know it's
Minute
long
20.
show. It's good. We're
Long show.
lots of people.
Yes.
So yeah, check us out on all social medias. I've been updating it way more.
Nice.
You can hear us on everywhere, but most of the people pretty much Spotify, Apple, and online, which is really kind of nice. We're like, I don't even know the number, but we're like, I think just under 200 downloads away from 10,000.
There you go.
So we're right around the bend. And yeah, it's a opinion show. Don't get it twisted. Keep coming back every Wednesday. That's Tina. I'm Rob. We'll see you in a week. Bye.
See ya.